day was Martina and I. That was it. That's enough learning for the day. That we had a conversation, that we had certain issues that we brought into the room, that you learned certain things about why we don't focus on the problem. That's the day. Everything else is just, that's my point of view, in case you're curious what I think. So, but by the time you have a joint and a bone and pronators and supinators and splitting the legs and head through the gap and proximal distal reversal and egg beater arms and, you know, but I have a short amount of time and I have to get through some stuff and, you know, so you feel that too, right? It's a lot. It's a lot. So if you feel like, why are you not motivated to do more right now? It's because you're intelligent. That's why. And then we could have you go and do a discussion, but then you'll go into your old tricks of blah, 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 and that doesn't seem right. So I don't know, really. Just breathing in, breathing out. But I'll just tell you a story, and then we'll start a new series. And if you don't like it, you can go home and go, this is the new series? Anyway, we'll start something new. I don't know. Maybe we'll come back to Head Through the Gap. Maybe we won't. I don't know myself yet. But there's a man named Jerry Carson, very intelligent man. You'll probably hear his name at certain points. He spent a lot of time with Moshe. He was actually the one that organized the Amherst training for us, and he's actually the one, and I get emotional when I say this because I feel so grateful that he actually decided that they had to do these videos of Moshe's FI lessons. It wasn't Moshe's idea. He said, we have to record this so that all these future generations could learn and get to watch Moshe work. So we owe that to Jerry Carson. We owe many things to him, but at any rate, but when he was, I think he got out of his training and he went to Israel and he was watching Moshe give lessons at that time. And he told us a story. He would watch Moshe give one lesson to somebody, one FI in Tel Aviv, and then there was a beach nearby, and he liked to walk on the beach. And basically he would just spend the whole day thinking about what he'd seen in that hour. So for 1 hour of something, he would spend the whole day pondering, in a way, pondering the thing. And I just want to bring that up because, you know, like, allow yourself to ponder things and question and wonder, and allow yourself to, like Pat asked me a question about, did I think it would be of value to buy a skeleton and practice the moves I showed on the skeleton at home? And, you know, when I was in my training, I wouldn't have done it. It wouldn't have occurred to me. So it would have been, and I wasn't interested in skeletons. I was interested in drama, and that was as far away from a skeleton as you could imagine. So I wouldn't have done it. But Pat had an idea. He had an inkling. He had a, you know, he thought, that would be, do it, you know. So ponder, think, dream, imagine, create with this food. It's like digest. It's a kind of food, I hope, that you're getting. And, you know, there was this, we'll still start the series. You won't, 5 minutes is enough for the new series. But, you know, there's, in Europe, they're having a conference. Actually, they decided, I don't know if you heard about it, they're going to postpone it. Because I don't know why, they have to think about it more and argue about it more. But the title of the conference is, originally, the title was The Tension, which is not a good way to start a theme. The tension between explicit and implicit learning in the Feldenkrais method. Explicit and implicit learning in the Feldenkrais method. So explicit is all the things we explain. And for those of you that think you can learn the method by hearing things explained, maybe that makes you happy that people can explain. And For other types of people, the more you explain, the more the whole thing is ruined. And that's the implicit learning that you digest, you cook on, you create. Or did you ever wake up in the middle of the night and find yourself trying to solve a problem proposed in the ATM, and that who was it in you that was still doing it? You know, or you take a walk in the woods and all of a sudden it dawns on you, or that's all underground. It goes on in the dark, like photosynthesis. We give some water, some light, but the plant's under there doing something we can't really see, and then all of a sudden, boom, you put it together, or penny drops, or a new pattern, a new relationship. So that's all implicit. And the implicit is I mean, I was just talking to this friend of mine, Elizabeth Berenger, is over in Perth teaching, and Julie's training right now, and we were talking about it, and we were talking about Moshe, and it was like Moshe said certain things in the training. He said certain things to me personally that took 10 years to understand. Other ones took 5 years. Other ones, I got it on the spot and I never forgot it. So there's all these different time scales, processes, different kinds of food, and it's all in there. And so what is the training? What are you learning? And so a great thing is to know that whatever it is, it belongs to you. It's your process, it's your learning, it's your passion, it's your curiosity, it's your way. And just to respect it, and don't worry about getting it. Because everybody here is getting something and everybody here is not getting something, I think. I haven't found the perfect person yet. I mean, you couldn't get 100% of it. How could you understand 100%, right? All right. So anyway, now maybe we can do something else, kind of unplug and plug. But yeah, so just, we have a weekend, we still have a little bit more time, but I always tell groups on the weekend, you know, sleep, go to movies, take a walk in the park, ponder, you know, all the great discoveries happened a lot of great discoveries and a lot of great connections happen when people are walking or sleeping, or they don't happen when the person is demanding to understand something like that, right? Okay, so does that correspond to your experience? So could you please cross your one leg, sit up, cross one leg in front of the other, and we'll stuff you full of some more food, or not. Rest when you need to, lean on your hands behind. And take a very simple movement of, first of all, drop your head forward so that your chin is resting on your sternum or close to it. And make a movement of rolling, and we're going to have to understand what the word rolling is, but rolling your head so that your right ear goes toward your right shoulder, and then your left ear goes toward your left shoulder. And when you let yourself go from the right side to the left side, could you completely let the head fall forward? So in other words, you take the right ear to the right shoulder, and then you let the head fall forward, and as it falls forward, there's a bit of a momentum that takes it toward the other side, almost like a pendulum movement. And just notice whether, because I've just described the movement as doing something with your head, you've decided that nothing else is able to move, or does anything else move as you do it? Do you feel any other part of yourself as you do it, or you're just waiting to be told what you could feel? And I will tell you, but, you know. Okay, good. What's the plane of movement? It's a good question. But I'm not going to spoon feed you the way Mayo does, so just wait. All right, stop a moment. Let you be in the unknown for a few more seconds. Okay. So let the head go forward again. And this time, go only to the right. So as you go to the right, bring your right ear to your right shoulder, and then let your head drop back through the middle, just to the right. Some people did it anyway, spontaneously, they moved the shoulders. So now, if you drop your head forward to the right, and you bring your right ear to your right shoulder, it's actually a very complex plane of movement, isn't it? Because there's more than one, there's a couple of different planes of movement involved. And then make the head a little bit more passive and the movement of the shoulder a little bit more active. Almost as if you would turn your head by moving your shoulder. Keep your breathing free. Be careful about the eyes in terms of, I'm not giving you a direction for your eyes, but I saw in the movement previously that some people, you just lost all sense of, I don't know what you did with your eyes, but you lost all sense of kind of being in space. So let the eyes move a little bit somehow when you drop the head and take it to the right. And feel, but you need to lean on your hands behind you, because otherwise your shoulders aren't free to move and your back isn't free to help you, because it's engaged in helping you sit. Okay. So now, in order to do that, you need to move something in the upper part of your chest, don't you, to bring the shoulder forward. And which leg in front would help you more? Having your right leg crossed in front or your left for the movement of bringing your right ear to your right shoulder. Keep your breathing free, but do take your glasses off. Do take your glasses off. And now keep on doing that movement, and as you bring your right ear to your right shoulder, get taller, not smaller. And feel, how would you do that? How would you get a little taller, not smaller? And wherein you do get taller, not smaller. And what proportion of the time is it the head moving, and what proportion of the time is it, so to say, your torso moving your head? The proximal making the distal move, or is it just the distal moving? There's another example. Okay, good. Lie on your back and rest. I suppose I'll have to apologize to Margaret for that, but I just want to leave it a little bit open-ended right now. You're all right? Okay, I don't have to apologize to you. Good, all right. Never know what I said, but I don't want to over-define this right now in the beginning. I want you to just make sense of what we're doing as best you can. Now, lying on your back like that, make a little movement of rolling your head a little bit to the right and a little bit to the left. And feel how far down through you feel that movement, and also if there's any difference just from that little bit of doing it a bit more on one side. Good. And come up to sitting again. So just, I want to be clear about this because this is an important idea, that in sitting lessons, very often we lean on the hands behind, and the idea about that is that it's to relieve your back of having to hold you in this position so that your spine is free to move, right? So if your spine is busy doing the anti-gravity function of holding you up, those muscles are less free, the spine is less free. So by taking the weight, and this is true of most sitting lessons. So for instance, you did a lesson like this in here, right? Seated twist, and you were told to lean on the arm, same kind of idea. Because if you're here, your back is not as free for movement. So I want you to understand that as teachers, that's why. Now, there's one other thing which he doesn't get into that much in this series, but he makes a big point of it in other places, which is which way should the hands be facing? Have you talked about this at all? Yes, no, depending on what day it was. So tell the others, Leonie, that he who knows, tell the others. Pardon? You think that's what's, you think? Okay, I disagree. But you feel that this makes more sense because you feel that you can then, the shoulder blades come together. This feels better. This feels weird, I think. We'll do it both ways a little bit. But, all right, so, but the idea, it's a martial arts idea, that if I'm not going to really do it, but if I was a martial artist, I'm not, I'm a mime, so Jenny's a martial art. Do you want to come over and kick him, Jenny? But if you see, here, I could kick, you see, I could kick your hand out, right? Well, I'm going to do it with my hand. Yeah, so here, you see, I could like that, but I would do it with my foot, but I have my shoes on, so I'm not going to do that, yeah. But then the other way, put the hand the other way. But here, oh, wow, that is sturdy. That was sturdy, huh? I felt your whole, everything. See, he's got his whole self there. So Moshe was a martial artist, and he asked us to do these funny things about survival, you know. And if you read the bio, you'll see why he was so interested in survival, because he was coping with it from the beginning of life on. But anyway, some of us that have been coddled all our lives, you know, survival. What do we care? What's the difference between this and this? Nobody's kicking my hands anywhere. Okay, so you try to do it a few times with the hands like this. And you know, nobody put their hands spontaneously like that, right? Because it's a completely different organization of your shoulders, of your clavicles, of your chest, but do it a few times and feel. Roll the head to the right and bring the right shoulder forward. But every position allows for something and disallows for something. So what does this allow for? In your sensation, not in your analysis. Is there anything? That was a rhetorical question, Mother Country, but thank you. Danielle. Hey. All right. Now, just rest a minute. Oh, in sitting. Good, you're waking up actually. You're wired and tired at the same time. That's a state. Okay. Now, so put you can play with the hands as we go, sometimes one way, sometimes the other. Okay. Now, so put the hands behind and go back and forth now, the pendulum movement from the dropping in the middle and then the right ear to the right shoulder and the left ear to the left shoulder. Feel if there's something you could do lower down to be more comfortable and so that you don't, how to distribute the movement so that it's not just a few vertebrae in the neck. How would you shift your weight somehow? And is the right side easier? Because when you go to the left, bring the left shoulder forward. I'll tell you, yeah, okay. Put the legs any way you like. What would you do? How would you shift the weight? Be sure and let your head go in the middle. Really let it drop. Like a pendulum. The pendulum, the weight would be the heaviest in the middle, wouldn't it? And then from there, swinging one way, swinging this. Really let it drop. Okay, this is a great movement observation thing, but I think we'll wait till tomorrow or another day. Because you see, there's just like there's side bending, there's turning, and there's, what else is there? I don't know. So some people are doing like that, which means they don't let the head go. Some people are just doing, anyway, it's complex. Lie on your back, rest a little bit. We're going to restore your full possibilities of the movement of the head. And it's really interesting because whatever point the head doesn't include, wherever you skip in the movement, it means that the space isn't clear in that direction. It means that maybe lots of blind spots related to where we don't take our eyes, where we don't take our head. Maybe you already found that in the first segment with the work with the eyes. Now, roll your head right and left again. Maybe it's enough, huh? 5 minutes for them to ponder their learning. Bend your knees. Just a little taste of something, and we'll go on with it tomorrow. Come up to sitting. Are they excited to walk out the door? Is that what that means, or just excited? You like it? Yeah. Have you done that before, that lesson? No, but you liked what we did just now. All right, come back tomorrow, Ella. Good, and sit right in front of me so I get some positive energy from make up for people who don't like to roll their everything. Yeah, all right, good. Stand up. And I mean, between what Margaret did with you and even just this little bit that I'm doing, I'm kind of at the other end of you were at the tail and I'm at the other end, but just what she did with you was also very martial arts kind of thing. And so do pay particular attention when you walk out of here, really feel your relationship to space, because it can change so much when you When you do those movements like that, right, with the pelvis and the head and accessing and turning, and you can feel just walking around. Can you feel you have more, what the dancers call a kinesphere? Huh? You feel this bigger kinesphere? Walk around a little bit. We'll use some of your free time up. But can you feel just the idea that there's more space behind you, or to the right, or to the left, or above your head? So see, you already have more of the presence of an actor. Well, by the end, you'll all be Marlon Brando, and who's the woman? I don't know. Marlon Brando. What?
Eva Marie.
Is that who you like? Oh, on the waterfront. Okay. All right. Good. So when you go out, just be aware of the influence of all these things on you and how you relate to space around you, and have a nice evening. Ponder, enjoy yourselves, and bring your heads back tomorrow. We're going to need it. All right. Good.